Hey there, comic book fans. Back from my comic books from yesterday. Only got 6 comic books this week, but of course there's 6 good comics. But we'll start with my top of the printer museum comics of the week. We went back in time to the 80s for Alien Worlds number 5. Who is this? What's his name? John Bolton. No. John Bolton, right, did this cover. Alien Worlds number 5, and back to, I think this is 1970, is X-Men number 66. I just looked it up. It's Marie Severin, which I guessed from that Hulk face, and Sam Granger on the inks, who I never would have guessed. Is it John? All of a sudden I'm getting all of my Boltons mixed up. I'm trying to look at his signature. There was Brian Boland, John Bolton. Okay. I'm just a little confused this morning, I think. It's still early, but had a lot of fun looking at these on the top of my printer all week. Man, I don't think I've looked at these Alien Worlds in a long time. I'll have to go back and reread them. Pacific Comics, early 80s stuff. Then we've got a new issue of What's the Furthest Place from Here, issue number 14. The graveyard with a tree over it. I don't think there's been an issue of this in a few months. Sometimes I forget when I got the last one, but I think it's been a while on this. But I don't think so long a while, just a little while. Maybe they didn't have one out in the summer. I can't remember. But always a fun book, even though the overall story, I have no idea what's going on in the overall story. I don't think there is an overall story anymore, but each individual issue is good. Our creative team, Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg, tell a nice story, even if it doesn't make, like I said, I don't know what the story. The story started out being about this world where there are no adults and only the kids, and then it just kept going from there, and it really hasn't changed. We really got no insight into the world. Just lots of weird stuff happens. And here's the latest Usagi series, Usagi Yojimbo, Ice and Snow. Oh, it also gives us a legacy number there. Usagi Yojimbo 270. I think that's the first time they've done that. I guess that counts all the various volumes too, because I know he's up around 270 with all the volumes of Usagi. I guess they want to get a 300 in there. It's back with Dark Horse. Oh, it's still in color. I was wondering if it was still going to be in color or not, because all the previous Dark Horse ones were in black and white. But when he moved over to Dynamite or IDW, it was IDW, they started coloring them. So I wonder what the indicia says on this. Does it say Usagi Ice and Snow or Usagi 270? Let's see, where is the indicia? We're back. Oh, it's way down there. Oh, that is too small to read. It says, also known as Usagi Yojimbo Volume 5, issue number 1. It's kind of an AKA in the indicia. So this is Volume 5, issue number 1, or Ice and Snow, part 1 of 5, or number 270. Oh, it's got a $5 price tag. I don't think I noticed that when I actually ordered it. It's not a $4 book anymore. It's a $5 book. I guess that color is an extra $1. Then we've got The Savage Strength of Star Storm, number 5, by, who's this, Drew Craig, Jason Feinstone. And I enjoy this one. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if Drew Craig is sort of an enthusiastic amateur or a really sophisticated professional, because there's an amateur quality to this book. I've said that since the beginning, but I find it quaint and charming that this sort of amateur, because you can see the enthusiasm he puts in too. Look at all those superhero drawings in there. So it's a fun story. It's full of enthusiasm, but it's not that sophisticated. But I'm still trying to figure out if it's not that sophisticated on purpose, or just because it's not that sophisticated. But either way, I like it. I mean, it doesn't have to be sophisticated for me to like it. So I'm enjoying the savage strength of Starstorm. Now, Monstrous is sophisticated. There's a lot of stuff going on in this book. Monstrous number 48. Marjorie Liu or Lee. Is it Liu or Liu? Liu. I've always heard it said Marjorie Liu, but I've never really noticed there's an I in there. Sana Takeda. I've heard that name pronounced. They're telling their epic fantasy story here. Oh, there's so much like I said, there's so much going on in this. It's hard to describe after 48 issues because the same story has been going on for 48 issues. I mean, different parts. It's kind of like, you know, an epic fantasy story like Lord of the Rings. How do you explain that? They go on a quest. You know, they go on a quest. It doesn't exactly sum up Lord of the Rings and tell you what's going on in it, and it's tough to. Whoop. Black pages with some balloons on them. We'll have to see what's happening on those ones, but it's just been terrific stuff. All sorts of magic and fantasy creatures and old gods and worlds colliding and big wars and small wars and all atrocities and everything's going on in this book. And the last two books I got are facsimile editions. Here is is this the first mirror? I don't even know why they're putting out Flash 105. There must be a is this the first Flash issue after Showcase? That might be it. I've been having fun with these facsimiles. They're all on matte paper, so they resemble the old newsprint more than the glossy paper does. Even if I like the old Marvels better than the old DCs, I'm still enjoying these old. They still had it there this week, but I didn't. I think last week they had a facsimile of Detective Comics. I think it was the first Penguin. I forget what number it is, but that was like an $8 book, and I was just kind of like, I don't really want to spend $8 on a facsimile edition, but maybe some week when I have an extra $8, I will. But I bought that one, and I bought. They Came from Inner Space. Oh, I didn't even notice this one was a $5 one. Jeez, they got me for an extra $1. Micronauts number 1. I don't have any of my Micronauts. I used to have the complete run, all the volumes. I think they're in France now. I sold them on eBay a few years ago. I hadn't looked at them since the 80s. I really wanted to see this Michael Golden art on a new printing. I kind of wanted to see how it looked with this sharp new printing. This looks like a semi-gloss paper. It's not matte. It's got some gloss to it, but I've seen glossier. So yeah, the Michael Golden stuff on this new printing looks sharp. You know, the old newsprint printings were a little fuzzy. Oh, I didn't know. There's a Meet the Micronauts page. Like, this is just one I just kind of wanted to see the new printing on. Man, I haven't read these in a long, long time. I gotta say, I'm happy with the new printing. I'm happy with it looking that sharp. All right, now let me show you a piece I did this week. What do we got back here? A little Dreams of Things, sort of monster version of Dreams of Things I went with this time. We got this woman monster's face showing us her teeth. These two monsters on the sides. Couple of pyramids behind her. I don't know, what are those golden things there? They're almost like screws on a wall, but they're not really because the slot isn't in the middle. A nice purple stripe going across the top. Green faces always say monster too. You get a sickly green face in there, and you got even more of a monster. A I like the one I like the way this one came out. He's got some symmetry going on here, even though it's a little bit of asymmetrical symmetry because it's really not symmetrical. The left side isn't really like the right side, but close enough to make us think it is. I guess that's one of the things I kind of like doing. Up there's my printout of one of my Gatsby drawings. I still have to finish up that project. Got a lot of illustrations for it, but it's not all together. Still don't have the cover. I need that cover. That's really the final thing I need. I'll figure that out. There you go. Some artwork, some comic books, and you guys have a good week out there.